Hey there, welcome to ITV. I'm Kritika Padel. Today on ITV, Anita Nahal talks to the prominent Washington area Indian American entrepreneur Frank Islam.
Good afternoon. Our guest today is Mr. Frank Islam, Chairman, CEO of FI Investment Group, an investment firm he founded in 2007. The firm focuses on providing growth capital to emerging companies as well as managing specialized and branded funds. Mr. Islam is a multifaceted Indian American. He's a very successful business leader who built a company worth hundreds of millions of dollars. His investment style centers on innovative strategies for value creation, such that he's often the first to invest within a new economic paradigm. He's also a blogger, a columnist, and an author who's now working on his second book, his first book being Renewing the American Dream. As a philanthropist, Frank has supported a number of worthy causes nationally and internationally. Frank, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me on this show. It's great to be back over here.
Wonderful, thank you, and we look forward to having good conversation with you today on a number of topics. So let's begin with your background. Where are you from, and how did you come to be such a successful businessman? Tell our viewers something about yourself.
Okay, there's a lot of questions here. I was born in India in a city called Azamgarh, which is the eastern part of the United Province, also known as Uttar Pradesh in India. And I grew up in Aligarh. I came to America when I was 15 years old. Mm-hmm. Now, the city of Azamgarh remains an inseparable part of my life, my story, my journey. As a matter of fact, that city really shaped my history, my story, and my destiny. But you asked the question with regard to the where I was born, but I wanted to say something about the city itself, because the fact that there's so much income inequality, injustice in that part of the region, and especially the people who are minority. They share a city but not a community. They share a common dwelling but not in a common effort. And poverty drains institution. Poverty, as I see it, does not inspire the people. Mm-hmm. So the best gift that I can give it to that city is to instill in them the love of education, which allow them to be empowered, which would give them dignity and respect. As you all know, the education does not crush the hope. It's the poverty that crushes the hope of the people. Mm-hmm. So hopefully my story, as I see it, should resonate well with the people of that part of the region, so they can inspire and they can follow in the footsteps of Frank Islam, because it is my desire to create many, many Frank Islam and inspire others from my story.
You talk about income injustice, and I think, at least I feel and I believe from what I've read about you, and I'm sure you'll add to that, that may have been your motivating factor for starting so many companies. And you just said that poverty is really the root cause of misery, and you have focused so much on education itself, and also in your blogs and writing, you talk about citizenship. So tell us some of those connections.
Well, education plays a very important role in America, because you're creating a future generations of America. Education creates a wealth, creates a prosperity. My foundation that I have, my wife Debbie and I, that funds the students who have financial hardship, who cannot go to school. I strongly and firmly believe that the students are the best hope for us. Just like America has been the best hope for the people all over the world, so the students has been the best hope for the people.
Right.
It is important for us to create an environment where the students can excel. And that's the reason I fund the education programs through my foundations. But talk about the education. Education is so important, and especially to our country, because the fact that we are creating a next generation of Americans. Mm-hmm. And education is a powerful equalizer. In addition to that, the higher education, which is, I think you kind of alluded to the fact that the higher education inspired the people, mm-hmm. and that in turn propel the country to go forward. Mm-hmm. And it is the access to the higher education during the World War II veterans who put America to its new height. Mm-hmm. Now, education has also been a great contributor in order for our democracy to flourish. And the democracy has flourished because of the higher education. So both are very, very interdependent. I came to this country long years ago, I got education, I got the citizenship, I started the business, I became very successful. So it's time for me to give back to our community, to our country that we love dearly. And it is the investment that they made in me to repay that loan investment back to our country.
That is wonderful, and that's very true. As we grow older, we want to give back and mentor as much as possible to the society and to the country that we live in. And your point about education, I think that's what you were alluding to, that education leads to awareness and therefore enlightenment. And the more educated you are, the more enlightened you are perhaps a better citizen. I know on your...
That's at least the hope.
That's the hope. That's the hope.
It does propel the nation. It moves the nation forward.
Right.
And we have the best institution in the world. People come from all over the world to this country.
Right.
Including myself, who came from India.
Precisely. Yourself, myself. There's so many other stories like ourselves. That's true. And on your blog in Huffington Post, you mentioned, I picked up this quote, I really liked it. You said 21st century citizens are problem solvers, not blame placers. They are future focused and not fault focused. They are proactive rather than reactive, unquote. Thus, based on what you say this, and you already said it, but why do you think citizenship matters so much?
Well, citizenship matters in the 21st century because we need to be engaged, we need to be involved, we need to be interested, we need to be issue-oriented, and we need to be informed. A country reveals itself by its citizen. A nation is comprised of the citizens, as you all know. And that regardless whether they're a factory worker, they're farm workers, they're entrepreneurs, they're business people, and so on and so forth. An American exceptionalism that we have in America, that flourishes because of the fact that citizens are engaged and involved. That's how, as I see it, the democracy grows, and that's how the capitalism flourish, and that's what builds the America to take America forward.
I absolutely agree. As a professor of U.S. history, I think one of the most beautiful things about America is the sense of civic responsibility.
They must have we must teach civic responsibility to our students in the K to 12 education.
Right, precisely. Let's move on a bit to your numerous activities. Your resume is extremely impressive. Just to say a few things for our viewers, you're a member of the International Advisory Council of the U.S. Institute of Peace. You're a member of the Democratic National Committee National Advisory Board, committee member of the Export-Import Bank of the United States, a member of the Department of Commerce, Industry, Trade Advisory Committee. So you have been involved in so many business organizations, and you generated millions in the company you started, QSS, which you sold. So tell our viewers a little bit about QSS,
sure.
And why you sold that and why you moved on to another venture.
Good point, good question. So I started QSS in 1994 with all the desires and the drives and dreams that I wanted to become an entrepreneur. And with hard work initiative, I was able to build this company from 1 employee to 3,000 employees, from $1 to $300 million plus in 12 years. And then I sold it in the year 2007 to Mr. Ross Perot, a true American icon, a true treasure of America, a true patriotic Americans that I know of. But starting a business, which you probably viewers would be interested to know, is about taking a risk. It's a willingness to take a risk. It's confronting the uncertainty with optimism, ingenuity, and creativity. It's about setting the examples for others to follow. And I learned from my failures, but I also learned from my success as well. My story should resonate well with millions of immigrants across the globe and across our land, and it says that America is a land of opportunity. And my story should inspire should inspire others. And my story should also reveal about America's openness and inclusiveness. And these are the qualities and strength we can all proudly and truly embrace. But in my case, making money is not my motivation. Profit has never been motivation. Serving the humanity, sharing, caring, and giving. Those are the values that has always guided me throughout my life.
Well, that's wonderful, and that's where your philanthropic activities are focused on education And you said you want to create more and more students who are educated, higher, and especially higher education. Here, I just want to ask, is your focus also a lot on immigrant students or people of color, being a person of color yourself? Where does your focus lie in philanthropy?
Well, first of all, I do not discriminate people because of the color, creeds, background, and belief. We must fully exploit each and everyone's potential, regardless of their color. We must provide them opportunity, not guarantee. So it does not distinguish, does not have a distinction between the people who are different colors and creeds and religion or race and background or belief. All of us will do well to remember that no country, no civilization has a monopoly on wisdom. So it focuses on the students who can exploit their fullest potential. It focuses on the students who have financial hardship. It focuses on the students who are willing to take a risk. It focuses on the students who wants to aim high, who want to work hard, who wants to pursue their dream.